This video explains how to configure the email engine to work with 32-bit Java when the MAPI protocol is required. As per the compatibility matrix, the 64-bit Java virtual machine does not support the MAPI protocol. In order to use MAPI, we need to ensure the email engine is installed on a Windows server, 32-bit Java is installed and available, and the 32-bit email engine binaries are available. This video makes the following assumptions: that you currently have the email engine configured against a 64-bit version of Java, that you have installed a 32-bit version of Java on the same server, you have access to the 32-bit email engine libraries. These can be obtained from the installer or by contacting BMC support. It is assumed that Outlook has been installed on the AR email engine server with a 32-bit mail profile. A MAPI mailbox has been created within the Remedy system using the same profile, and that the email engine Windows service is running as the same profile user. Because the email engine can be started from either the command prompt or Windows services, we need to make configuration changes in multiple places. Firstly, ensure the email engine service is not running. You can see here in my example, the service is stopped. For the command line option, we need to make the following changes. Navigate to where the AR email folder resides. We need to take a copy of the email_start.bat file. Rename it to identify it as being associated with 32-bit. Here you can see I've called mine email_start32bit.bat. Now edit the file. We need to change the Java path to point to the 32-bit version of Java. You can see here my Java path now reflects the 32-bit version. Save the file and close. It is also recommended that the Windows system path contains an entry to the 32-bit version of Java. From the environment variables, we can add a new entry to the path. You can see here I have added the location to my 32-bit version of Java. The next step is to test that our new bat file works correctly. We can double-click the bat file to run it. You can see that the email engine successfully starts and is able to connect to the server. We will now make the configuration changes for the email engine running as a Windows service. In order to do this, we need to make changes to the registry. Navigate to the following location: HKey local machine, system, current control set, services, BMC Remedy email engine, and then under there, parameters. The parameter that we need to change is the JVM library location. You can see here currently mine is set to a 64-bit version of Java. This needs to be changed to point to a 32-bit version of Java. We can double-click the entry to change it. My location is now updated to point to a 32-bit version of the JVM DLL. The next step is we need to change our current 64-bit email engine binaries to 32-bit. To do this, navigate to the AR email folder, and you'll see that we've got two binaries currently which are 64-bit, emailD.exe and AR mailD.exe. We need to rename these to identify them as being 64-bit libraries. We now need to obtain our 32-bit libraries. These can either be gathered from BMC support or from the original installer used to install the current version of the AR system. In my example here, my server is an 1808 patch 1 system, so I use the 1808 patch 1 installer. If I navigate to the email engine, you can see here are my 32-bit binaries. We need to take a copy of these and paste them into our AR email folder. So you can now see that we have got our 32-bit libraries and our 64-bit libraries. Now the easy way to tell if a binary is 32-bit or 64-bit, if you right-click and do Properties, and we look at the Compatibility tab, you'll notice that for a 32-bit library, the compatibility mode gives you a lot more options, including Windows 95 and Windows XP. If we compare that to what we see on a 64-bit binary, you'll notice that we don't get those additional options, which tells us that this is a 64-bit library I'm looking at currently. Now that we have successfully completed the configuration and changed the 64-bit binaries to 32-bit versions, we need to ensure that we can start the email engine from both the command prompt and the Windows services. For the command prompt, we can use our email start 32bit.bat. To run this, double-click, and you can see that our email engine successfully connects to the server. And again, from the Windows services, we start the service and it should start successfully. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.